If you're like me, gosh, I hope you're not like me. I mean, my sympathies if you are like me. Anyway, when I pack camera gear for a trip, I'm a habitual overpacker. If I could fit the kitchen sink in a suitcase, believe me, I would do it. In this video, I'm going to share some hard-learned tips and tricks for making air travel with photography gear a little bit easier. Stay tuned. Traveling with photo equipment on airplanes is a pain in the heck. Travel in general is a pain, but it's worth it to be able to visit and photograph new and exciting locations. As an Olympus visionary and photo educator, I travel frequently, and that travel generally requires flying with camera gear and computers and lighting. I'm frequently asked about the cases I use and what gear I take with me. So let's dig in and I'll show you. Be sure to stay tuned until the end, and I'll share my top 15 hard-learned tips to ease the pain of air travel with camera equipment. Okay, let me get this out of the way before I get too far into this video. I have a bag problem. For some people, it's shoes. Others, it's hats. For me, it's bags. I have a bag for just about any and every shooting situation that you could ever imagine. Backpacks, wheeled bags, shoulder bags, sling bags, side load, top load, even vests that carry as much as a bag, belt systems, but when it comes to flying, backpacks are the way to go for your camera gear. Traveling with cameras in a backpack allows you to keep your hands free to manage your checked luggage cases and the important stuff like boarding passes and, even more important, snacks. My air travel backpacks of choice are made by Think Tank Photo. My three go-to bags are the Think Tank Photo Urban Approach 15, the slightly larger Think Tank Photo Airport Commuter backpack, and my biggest, the Think Tank StreetWalker HardDrive version 2.0. All three fit easily in the overhead bins of full-size jets as well as the smaller commuter jets. The Urban Approach 15 and the Airport Commuter backpack both fit comfortably under the seats of both small and large planes. I'll show you how I pack my bags in just a minute. My lighting gear travels as checked luggage in a hard-sided Pelican number 1560 case. The case allows me to carry a 4-light studio with stands, modifiers, transmitters, and fully loaded. It comes in at 42 pounds, which is well below the 50-pound maximum that most airlines stipulate for checked luggage. I'll show you everything that gets packed in the lighting case right after I show you what's packed in my camera backpack. Last but not least, for air travel, I also use a Samsonite hard-sided 24-inch spinner case. This case will hold my clothing and toiletries, as well as a tripod, LED light wands, and some additional modifiers and props for my fashion portrait demos and workshops. For a detailed item-by-item listing of what goes in my cases, be sure to visit my website. You can click here or also in the description below the video. Let's start with the camera gear. It's extremely important to be organized. Create a system. Know where things go. Everything should have a place, and everything should be in its place unless you are actively using it. Invest a few dollars in organizers and pouches to help you accomplish this workflow. These are a few things that go with me regardless of which of the three backpacks I'm traveling with. I carry one pouch with power banks and charging cords for recharging phones on long days when I haven't been able to plug in. A second larger pouch has all of my computer accessories, power cords, dongles, thank you Apple, SD card readers for both my phone and computer, HDMI and VGA connectors for projectors and presentation remote controls. A third bag has all of my camera cleaning supplies. I also have pouches for spare camera batteries and spare AA batteries and memory cards that allows me to organize them so that I can tell which ones are used and which ones are not in a glance. I keep all of these accessories in pouches so that I can easily move them from one bag to the next without forgetting something important. And when I'm in the field, the pouches make it very easy to identify the pieces of gear that I'm looking for. If I'm traveling light or for a short trip, I prefer the Think Tank Photo Urban Approach 15. Generally, the gear included will be 2 camera bodies. In my case, the Olympus OMD EM1 Mark IIs, and also the little Olympus Tough TG5, which is great for a quick snap or some 4K B-roll or vlogging footage for my videos. Lenses will depend on the assignment or event, but almost always include the Emsweeko 45mm f1.2 Pro lens the 12 to 100mm f4 Pro lens, the 7 to 14mm f2.8 Pro lens, as well as the 60mm f2.8 macro lens. For you full-frame folks, that means that I'm covered from 14mm to 200mm, including macro. If it's an extended trip, or depending on what I'm shooting or teaching, if I need a bit more room, the Airport Commuter backpack is the next choice. All three of my bags have a computer pouch that easily handles my 13-inch MacBook Pro, a mouse, and an external solid-state drive. For lighting gear, I have my Pelican 1560 case outfitted with pre-cut diced foam that makes it very easy to organize my lighting equipment. This Pelican case has 2 wheels and a retractable handle, making it easy to navigate with. 4 Godox 8200 pocket flashes with the Fresnel heads attached stand upright in this case with ample padding top and bottom. I also packed 2 of the bare bulb heads with bulbs and 4 LumaPro 7.5 foot tall compact light stands, 2 spare battery chargers with duck heads, and 4 mini ball heads, as well as 2 umbrella stand adapters for mounting the 8200s. The case also holds 2 Westcott 43-inch optical white satin collapsible umbrellas. I also packed my Godox X Pro trigger, and if I'm teaching a workshop, I pack 5 additional triggers so that attendees with any brand camera can shoot using my lighting. A few MagMod accessories round out the kit. Now I'm able to get all of this in the Pelican case and still come in under the 50-pound weight limit for checked luggage. Remember, you can see a detailed item-by-item listing of what goes in my cases by visiting my website. Click here or in the description below the video. Most of the major airlines have a credit card program that comes with additional travel perks. I fly with American Airlines whenever possible, and with my American Airlines MasterCard, I get my first bag checked for free, and I get priority boarding, which ensures that I'll have overhead space if I need it. If you travel frequently enough, don't forget to sign up for frequent flyer mileage. Even if you don't fly enough to earn free flights, many of the airlines allow you to use the points as shopping credits or for magazine subscriptions. TSA PreCheck gets you expedited security screening benefits for flights departing from US airports. If you're traveling abroad, Global Entry provides the TSA PreCheck benefit plus expedited US customs screening when entering the United States. TSA PreCheck is good for 5 years, it costs just $85, and you can speed through security without the need to remove your shoes, laptops, liquids, belts, or light jackets. I've included a link to more info in the description below the video. Now, first and foremost, don't be a jerk. Don't have an attitude and don't act like you're the only person in the world who is suffering through the inconvenience of extra security measures. The TS agents are just doing their job, and because they're doing their job, air travel still remains the safest form of transportation. If the X-ray screener flags your bag for further inspection, don't try to pick up your own bag and move it to the inspection area. Just calmly tell the agent that the bag contains expensive camera equipment and you would appreciate their care in handling the bag. As the agent is unzipping the bag, calmly ask them if you could at least explain to them how to handle the pieces that they want to remove so that they don't touch or scratch any sensitive surfaces. Now, if you pack your bag properly, they will generally only take a peek and do an explosive swab on the bag. The agents who monitor the X-ray machines have only seconds to look at and identify potential threats in a bag. If you have everything packed 1 layer deep, it makes it much easier for the agent to identify the bag's contents and much less likely that they'll flag your bag for a hand inspection. Obviously, when we're out shooting, we want a camera ready to go at a moment's notice. But for air travel, it is much more efficient to pack cameras and lenses separately. And if you tend to overpack, it also limits the potential for damage being done to your lens mounts if the bag takes a hit. For that same reason, I always load my camera bodies with the LCD in, never out. Never check your camera gear or computers. Clothing, toiletries, accessories, and props, they can be replaced easily and inexpensively. Camera gear cannot. If you're traveling to do a job and your checked case with your cameras gets lost, you're out of luck. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I would pack the kitchen sink if I could. You can never be too prepared. Unfortunately, that is just not practical when you're flying with camera gear. Zoom lenses are very helpful to limit the amount of gear that you need. The same theory applies to clothing as well. I have lots of shirts and underwear and socks that can be easily washed in a hotel sink and air dried overnight. Remember that the airlines have weight limits on both carry-on and checked luggage. Be sure to check your airline's website for the most up-to-date info. But it is generally 50 pounds for checked baggage and 40 pounds for carry-on. Trust me though, you don't want a carry-on bag that weighs 40 pounds. It is worth purchasing an inexpensive travel scale like this one so that you don't find yourself having to repack and possibly leave something valuable behind once you're at the airport. I learned that one the hard way on a recent trip to St. Louis in early November. It was in the mid-50s when I left Philadelphia, but the entire weekend I was in St. Louis, the temperature never topped 35 degrees. And wouldn't you know it, I was scheduled to do 2 demos outside. Since then, I've purchased a packable down jacket that folds up incredibly small so that I can hang it on the outside of my backpack or pack it in my suitcase without having it take up a lot of space. Don't take new shoes on a trip and don't worry so much about style. When you're traveling, you're probably in for long days on your feet and you're not going to do your best if your feet are sore or suffering from blisters. This goes along with the be organized philosophy of packing. I use an app called TripIt to keep all of my flight, hotel, and car reservations organized so that I have access to everything right on my phone at any time. TripIt also allows me to check in for my flight and then I can store my boarding pass in my Apple Wallet. I also keep the airline apps and hotel apps on my phone to allow easy communication and check-in along the way. Don't forget the Uber and Lyft apps for transportation, and of course, Apple or Google Maps for those times that you're renting a car. If you do a lot of driving away from home, I highly recommend the Waze app, which uses crowdsourcing to help you avoid construction and delays and ultimately saves you a lot of driving time. I should also remind you about the importance of planning your shoot. So don't forget the apps that I mentioned in this video for help with that. I use these bright orange luggage tags that I found on Amazon, and my Pelican case has this bright red electrical tape that I've outlined it with. My bluish gray suitcase is not the most popular color, and combined with the orange luggage tag, it makes it easy to find it on a loaded luggage carousel. It is important to lock your checked luggage. Be sure to use the approved TSA locks so that the agents can access the bag if it's flagged for a security check. If you use a non-TSA approved lock, they have the legal right to simply cut the lock open. Hopefully this is something that you've done long before you think about flying. If you're serious about your photography and don't have insurance on your gear, consider joining PPA, Professional Photographers of America. The annual membership includes $15,000 of equipment insurance, which is worth the cost of membership. And PPA has excellent learning resources available to all of its members. TSA regulations require that spare lithium batteries must be packed in your carry-on luggage. It is okay to leave the batteries in the gear in the cases that you're checking. Just make sure that your extras are in your carry-on. This should be a no-brainer. At the end of each day, I transfer my files to my laptop and then from there, make a copy to a portable SSD drive and then to the cloud. Depending on how long I'm traveling and how much I'm shooting, I'll wait until I return home to format my cards. But if I need to reuse the cards on a trip, once the images exist in 3 locations, I have no problem reformatting the cards. So there you have it, my travel gear and tips. I hope this gives you some ideas to help you with your air travel with photography gear. If you have some tips on air travel with camera gear, please share them in the comments below. And until next time, come on, hit that thumbs up and subscribe so that you don't miss any videos. And please don't keep all this cool stuff to yourself. Share it with your photography friends. Remember, photography is not a competition. It is a passion to be shared. Now go pick up that camera and shoot something, because your best shot, it's your next shot. So keep learning, keep thinking, and keep shooting. Adios.